bay, and I would expect that they're going to drop what's left of that warning here in just a few more minutes. Now, I believe on air with us we have our very own Matt Capucci, who is out doing Matt Capucci things, chasing down the tornadoes locally. Matt, what did you see? You sent in some great video of certainly a funnel cloud. Did you see anything on the ground?
Beltway, I saw a birthday cake structure. In other words, that striated updraft, a little bit, I'd say, northwest of roughly Bowie. So that's when things really started to tighten up. As I approached Bowie, I could see a ground-scraping mesocyclone, a wall cloud down near the ground, right near the tree line. And I took some videos across the road, and I knew that there had to have been intermittent circulations because leaves were falling from the sky. Anytime you see that, ordinarily, that means there's likely circulation on the ground, or at least very close enough that it can pick up whatever is close to the ground on the tree line. So I saw that near Bowie. The winds were very quick. What you're seeing on the left, that video is actually a little bit southeast of Bowie. So as I was driving southeast, I noticed there were 2 to 3 circulations at a time, a very unusual storm coming out of the northwest with 1 hook echo, 2 hook echoes, a 3rd circulation too. So this was the second, the middle circulation. So I believe the northernmost one is that which impacted Bowie. The second circulation produced this tornado, which you see right here. It was on the ground probably briefly. It was impossible to tell if it was actually touching, but it had a very tight funnel, very likely a tornado. We've heard reports of damage on Annapolis Road in Bowie, a little bit north of town center, so heading there very shortly to cover the damage. But really an impressive day, one that I'm actually in a deal right now. The storm pushing offshore, but one that really snuck up on us pretty quickly. We had talked about the potential for tornadoes all day long, but to see really this manifest as it did gives me shades of Annapolis last year when I hightailed it out east and chased that one too. You're finally seeing things pull off the coast right now, which is good news. Not much of an issue anymore, but that said, there could be 1 or 2 more rogue storms later on tonight. And in this kind of environment, with the winds we have changing wind direction with height, could be a little iffy. So something we really have to watch. Guys?
All right, that is our Matthew Capucci on the ground there. Matthew, thank you for that report. Mike Thomas, Caitlin Roth, you guys have been tracking this storm for an hour plus now, and we want to go back to the ground and get you to Lindsay Watts, who is also tracking the damage from this afternoon's storms.
Absolutely, and Lindsay, what are you seeing out there? You posted some pretty incredible video on social media, but what?
Good evening, gang. The damage is actually pretty intense, as you mentioned. One thing that's really interesting, though, the damage is so very isolated to only very narrow swath, which is how we know it's a tornado. Behind me, for example, just off Stony Brook Drive, you can see the flowers are completely untouched. The lawn decorations are completely untouched. The power is on in this home. And yet we turn just across the street over here, and you can just barely see big trees toppled. Some of these maybe about foot and a half in diameter. Now, how do we know it's a tornado and not a microburst? Well, tornadoes are convergent wind. It's sucking all the air towards the same place. So look at the left. That tree is felled from left to right. This one from right to left. Now, if we can take the video I shot earlier on near Harwood, you'll be able to see this may have been a second tornado that I got video of farther to the south and east. But the reason I show this video is because it shows what we call suction spots, or smaller vortices within a larger parent rotating cloud. And that's why these smaller vortices cause such narrow, isolated damage. And that's why we've seen so much in the way of tree damage, but next to nothing structurally. We take this video from Skyfox earlier on, and you'll be able to see the tree damage is intense, likely in the higher end EF0 to lower end EF1 range. Think about winds, probably I'd say 80 to 90 plus miles per hour in a few locales, but so far we've been very fortunate, no reports of loss of life. There were reports earlier on here off Annapolis Road in Bowie of a shopping center that was severely impacted. Fortunately, that was